Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. This is Bishart Ali, student of Sindh University campus Larkana from the Department of Business Administration. My roll number is 17. This is a semester presentation of subject Pakistan Economy, which I am submitting to Sir Ayaz Ali Methlo. My presentation contains on 4 important topics, including GDP, GNP, economic growth, economic development. So let's move to the first question, that what is GDP? First of all, GDP stands for gross domestic product. Gross means total, domestic means home, and product means goods and services. So definition is GDP is the value of all final goods and services produced inside the boundaries of a country by its people and companies in a specific time period. Means whatever goods and services any country produce, the value of all those goods and services will be called the GDP. And it doesn't matter who produces those goods and services, whether national or foreign owned companies. If those companies are located inside the boundaries of any specific country, their production value will be added to the GDP of that country in which they are located, because they earn money from the boundaries of that country. That's why their production value and will be added to the GDP of that country. So GDP focuses where the output is produced, means the place of production matters. For example, any foreign owned company is working in Pakistan and earns a high amount of profit. So definitely their value, production value will be added to the GDP of Pakistan, because that company is working inside the boundaries of Pakistan, because that company is performing in Pakistan, because that company is earning in Pakistan. I hope this question has been cleared. Now let's move to the next question, which is what is GNP? GNP is the money value of everything produced within country plus money, incoming money from overseas, and minus outgoing money to abroad. Means the money value of everything produced in our country plus incoming money from overseas to our country and minus outgoing money to abroad from our country. For example, Atif Aslam, he is our singer, he is a Pakistani singer. He earns money from India by singing, and he send his earning to his wife in Pakistan. We will add his earning to GNP of Pakistan, because Atif Aslam is Pakistani, he is Pakistani national person. In the same way, we will minus the outgoing money to abroad. For example, so many Chinese are working in Pakistan and they they earn money from Pakistan and send to the China to their families. So we will subtract that money from our GNP. That is actually what GNP shows. GNP itself says gross national product. So we will add only the earning of our national persons to GNP. So GNP focuses on output produced by countrymen. We, as I told you, that we add money of Atif Aslam and we subtract money of Chinese, because Chinese belongs to China. They are not Pakistani national persons, but Atif Aslam is a Pakistani national person, so we will add his income to the GNP of Pakistan. Another example, two companies are working in Pakistan. One is German, second is Pakistani. Both are earning high profit. We can add both companies' output and production value to GDP, but we can't add the German company's value, production value, its output to GNP of Pakistan, because German company belongs to German. It's a national company of Germany. Okay, so it means we will add the earning of only national persons to our GNP. Okay, I hope this question has also been clear. Now let's move to the economic growth. Economic growth. The third question is, what is economic growth? Economic growth is a continuous long term process where the country's national income increases. It is a process where the national income increases, but increase for a long time, not for few years. If it increases for few years, it can't be economic growth. But if it increases for many years, like 1 decade or 2 decade, so then we can say that it's economic growth. Okay, now let's move to its indicators. Economic growth indicators: increase in gross domestic product, means GDP, long term production of goods and services in the country, means if a country is producing goods and services for a long time, it is also an indicator of economic growth. The second point is increase in per capita income, means per head income. If per head income increases, and you see that increasement in income of every individual in the country, then you can say that it's economic growth. But how will you know that income is increasing or decreasing? So for that I have written a formula, that total national income divide by total population. When you will divide national income, total national income, with the total population, you will find the PCI, means the exact increasement in income of per capita. Okay, the third point is increase in per capita consumption, means how much per person consuming things. So it's also difficult to to know. So I have also written formula of that. So total consumption expenditure in the country divided by total population, to know the real consumption of per capita. Okay, now let's move to its benefits. Benefits of economic growth: it rise living standards, means it will bring certain good changes in person's life. Okay, and it will allow to have more consumption of products, increase employment opportunities, means it will allow people to consume more things, more products, and it also augment job opportunities for individuals. Okay, the third benefit is it will reduce unemployment. Okay, and the cost of economic growth. Cost of economic growth means the disadvantages of economic growth, which includes air pollution, water pollution, smoke, garbage, etc. Means the landscape will be ugly. So these are few things about economic growth. Now let's move to economic development. The fourth question is economic development. Economic development is wider concept than economic growth. Economic development equals to economic growth plus economic welfare. Means along with the economic growth, if a country is economically welfare, then we can say that that country is economically developed country. And economic developed country remains free of problems. Means economic developed country does not face such problems like poverty, inequality, unemployment, etc. So when you see that any country is free of these problems, you can say that that country is economically developed. And
A rise in productivity of labor. In economically developed countries, labor, the labors of economically developed countries are more skilled and productive. Okay, the third point says development of money and capital market means developed countries capital and money market would also be developed. economic economic development definition: when an increase in output of goods and services is accompanied by economic welfare in terms of reduction of poverty, inequality, and unemployment, etc., is called economic development. Means when we see increase in output of goods and services, we call it economic growth. But if that economic growth is accompanied by economic welfare, we will call it economic development. Economic welfare means reduction of poverty and inequality and employment, etc. Okay. Few features of economic development. Qualitative concept means it measures quality of country. Economic development measures quality of country, and economic growth measures quantity of country. Okay. Second point says sectoral changes. When development occurs, sectoral changes also comes as agriculture to industry and industry to service sector. The third point says structural changes means structural changes like the share of share of agriculture will be reduced and country will move towards the industry and uh, service sectors. Means country will move towards the modernization. The fourth point says public participation. Public participation is very much important for the development of economy. Means every resident has to participate, then economic development is possible. Okay. Economic development is influenced by many economic and non-economic factors. Those factors are natural resources, human resources, and a good infrastructure. Your natural resource is a principal factor that affect the economy of any country. Natural resources are oil, coal, gas, water, and almost every country has all these natural resources. The problem is only that if the that country utilizes that natural resources properly, then they can, you know, get success in economic development. Otherwise, they can't. Second point says that human resources. Human resources means if a country's population is well educated, well skilled, patriot, efficient, then they will contribute a lot in the development of economy. But if the population is not educated and skilled, they can create such hurdles in the path of economic development. Number third point says good infrastructure. Means if a country is well connected with roads, railways, and seaports, then that country can progress in so many sectors, and there is so much possibility of economic development. Now, non-economic factors: political factor and administrative factor. A stable government can develop means of communication and transport for expansion of size of market in a planar manner, enhance development in education, development in education, health, and energy sectors. For example, in Pakistan, for instance, there have been rapid changes of government since partition. Slow development in Pakistan is mainly because of political instability. And now the administrative factor. Administrative factor. The administration is generally weak, inefficient, corrupt in LDCs. Untrained employee from organization and administration skill are the reason of failure of development of Pakistan. Thank you very much. My presentation has been completed.